So this is a really weird video for two reasons. Firstly, sitting down talking to a camera, it's not usually my thing, but today I've got something to talk about that I think needs addressing, or I think it needs another voice to add to the growing concern. And secondly, it's a weird video because usually I'm the one berating EA for the mess that the game is in, but honestly this year I don't think FC25 is in a bad place. I actually think it's quite an enjoyable game. So why is it the worst reviewed football game from the company ever? Well, let's address the elephant in the room. Let's talk about the people reviewing this game. And I know the title of this video is a bit baity. I understand a lot of FC players are really, really nice people. And if you're not part of the Ultimate Team competitive scene, this video is not aimed at you at all. But I still think it's a really interesting situation that everybody should at least hear about. We've got this video game that's polarizing fans. For the offline community, the game's great. For the pro clubs community, the game is vastly improved from FC24. Some people don't like it, but the overall consensus from the people who play that game mode is relatively positive. And then you get to the Ultimate Team players, who are just smashing this game to pieces. Now, I'm sure there's plenty of valid reasons why you would not like this game, or why you would review this on the low side, especially the menus. Menus are awful. Let's just put that straight out there. I am not a fan of the menus. But who's there for the menus? I personally don't play Menu Simulator when I launch FC25. What's going on? Why is it so badly reviewed? Like, a vast majority of the people not playing Ultimate Team will say, yes, the gameplay is better on FC25 than FC24. Even so, this is not a video where I'm going to say I'm right and you're wrong. What I am going to do in this video is talk about my own experiences of the Ultimate Team competitive scene over the last 3 days, because I was dead intrigued. How can offline gameplay be amazing but the online experience be awful? And I've got the answers. Oh boy, do I have the answers. Yeah, so I got into Ultimate Team, I got very lucky with my packs, didn't spend a penny, got Haaland and Rodri. That's just the way it goes. Basically, them two players were good enough to get me up to Division 5 straight away on Division Rivals. Qualified me for Weekend League Champions, whatever it's called, today. My last experience of Weekend League was FIFA 17, 18. It was ages back, and it was quite a sweaty experience then. The sweatiness is now off the charts. Off the charts, mate. 5 at the backs or 4 at the backs with a really holding central defensive midfielder. Lots of players spamming the offside trap so you can't play balls over the top or through. Basically creating a wall of players on the halfway line. You know, you still got the pace abusers, the ones that get to the byline, try and put things in. It was very repetitive and quite dull. I'm not gonna lie, guys. And this was only after 4 games. Well, actually 4.5 games. The second game, the guy was winning 3-0, got his tactics spot on. I changed up my tactics, went a bit more attacking and got 2 goals back. He knew that he was on the back foot. So what does he do? He quit the game. And for some reason, the opposition quitting the game doesn't count as a win for yourself. That is a problem on EA's behalf, but it doesn't excuse the person who did it in the first place. I would imagine on their side, they still count it as a loss. So essentially at that point, it's well, I'm getting a loss here. I'm definitely not giving this guy a win, which is behavior. I tried to dilute my choice of wording there, but it is just behavior. I'm gonna have to get the vuvuzela out there to censor that. It's a community driven to win at any single cost, including your enjoyment of the game. That kind of, well, if you can't beat them, join them mentality moves more and more players to a 5-man defense. And I'm sorry, you can't just blame EA because the 5-man defense is a little bit too strong. If the 5-man defense wasn't a little bit too strong, something else would be. That something else would be exploited. The cycle goes on and on and on, spurred on by the amazing rewards being good at the game gives you. So it's win at any cost. It's Jose Mourinho brand of football. And much like what we're seeing in real life with the Premier League now, everybody trying to play the exact same tactics, it gets to a point where everything is a bit too formulaic. And I just can't see it going anywhere. I can't see it getting any better from here on out. This toxic nature has definitely grown since I played Weekend League last, and it wasn't fun back then. And I think, honestly, this is why Russia's getting so much positive attention, because it just promotes attacking football. It promotes excitement. It promotes enjoyment. Something that the fiercely competitive players will not let you have, because before anything, they must win. And if they don't win, if a game comes out and they're not as good at it, then they will pass on that anger to something else. They won't blame themselves. They will blame everything else because they were once good, so why can't they be good at this? It's a really sad state of affairs. Ultimate Team users, especially those that have pumped hundreds, maybe thousands of pounds into the game, will feel like they have some kind of privilege to say how bad the game is or how good the game is. And I think the direction of FC25 moving forward with patches, I think it's going to get worse. 100% I'm putting my game offline. I'm keeping it on title update 2. Because for me personally, I've not had this much fun on a FIFA game in like years and years. Like FIFA 15 maybe? That was like dead enjoyable. I guess if you've got this far into the video and you are part of that Ultimate Team competitive scene, I would like to say that I understand. I do understand, because bad behavior breeds more bad behavior. And one man talking to the camera is not going to solve that. It's also very important for me to state that it's not totally your fault. EA could do a lot more things to promote fun in their games and not win at all costs. If it wasn't already common knowledge, I think we are now at a point where it will be. This competitive scene, Ultimate Team, bringing the worst out of people. I wish I could say something to change that. I absolutely can't. People won't click on this video. They'll ignore me. They'll think I'm wrong. You know, they're entitled to their opinions. What I can do is maybe talk to the few people that are still in the room, essentially, and maybe convince you to do something else on the game. Maybe to enjoy your free time a little bit better. FC25 is actually a decent game. It is genuinely a decent game. Of course, looking past all the menu issues. Me being a career mode YouTuber, I would advise people to pick up career mode for the first time in ages, maybe even ever. But if you're not interested in offline gameplay, it's probably the year to give pro clubs a go. Surround yourself with good guys, or just your mates. See where it takes you. Like, in my 20s, I was a hothead. I really didn't like losing. And I'm worried that that growing competitiveness and that drive to just win, even when maybe the game is not going your way, is gonna have a really bad effect on people's mental health. And that really is at the core of why I decided to sit down and make this video. The motivation to have this communication, this open talk with you guys, that I'm sure will land on a lot of deaf ears. But for those people who at least give me the time of day, I think what you should do is play Champions this weekend, and then after the 15 games, just give yourself like 5 minutes to contemplate. Doesn't matter if you had a bad weekend, an average weekend, a very good weekend, maybe you won every single game. Just give yourself like 5 minutes and see how you're feeling. Are you stressed? Are you happy? If you are happy, then brilliant. That's fantastic. But I don't think that's going to be a lot of people, to be honest. I think people are stressed out of their sodding heads. And you've spent money on this game for entertainment purposes. Are you enjoying it? Like, seriously? If you're not, and the toxic behavior of people around you is getting to you a little bit, maybe try something else. I am a big critic of FIFA games, FC games. This year, it's got to have some plaudits. It's actually a decent game. And maybe if you just deep them words for a second, you might be able to find that good game yourselves. Okay? There you go. Like, we've had that conversation now. Even if it helps like 1 or 2 people out, I would be very happy. I say take care at the end of every single video, and I mean it. Enjoy your spare time. We only have one life to live. If you look at the overall picture, you are grinding a lot for cards that don't have any value once the next game comes out. So just be aware of that. If you still want to grind for them cards, awesome. You do you. But maybe it's time to think a little bit. All right, take care. See you next time. Bye-bye.